There's a secret to money that they aren't telling you. There's actually a lot of secrets, but in today's video, I'm going to share the number one secret that people don't realize about money. Hi, I'm Tracy from the Money Boss Show. I'm here to help you step into your personal power, make a lot of money, build the life of your dreams. Like, subscribe, and join me on this money revolution. Let's do this. Today's video is number 2 in our Sacred Money Truth series. Now, the biggest secret about money that they're not telling you. Are you ready for it? Money is a skill. Making money is a skill. And you might say, well, that's common sense, Tracy, but it isn't. For the majority of the population, we come into this world in the setting that we come in, our family, our culture, our environment, and that is what dictates how we see and feel about money. So in today's video, we're going to cover 3 things: how your origin, your background, your family, your community, your externals is responsible for the way you see money and the amount of money that you are making right now. We're going to talk about the skill of money. What is money? How is it earned? And number 3, we're going to talk about making money. So let's do this. Buckle up. We are in for a good one. Let's do it. So making money is a skill. Now let's back up. For the longest time in history, people that had money, it was generational. It was a select few, and they were the rich people, and they were the ones that owned the businesses and passed the money down generation by generation. Over the last 10, 20 years, as the internet has gained in popularity, free social media, there is more first generation millionaires and billionaires than there has ever been before. What does that mean? Tons of opportunity for you and I, of course. But here is the thing. Most of us, the way we think of money and our skill of making money is archaic. Our knowledge is lagging to where we are as a society. So let's look at you, me, everybody out there. We are in a job and we're either making good money, we're not making any money, or we're not working. So by and large, we are operating on a mindset, thoughts, beliefs, feelings about money, about the world, about our potential, our opportunity from our family. Half, 3/4, 98% of what we think is actually programmed in our minds by the time we are 7, which is like mind-blowing for most people because we think we're adults in charge of our mind, all intelligent, and we are. Don't get me wrong, but most of the things that we think subconsciously, not up here, the day-to-day thinking, but our beliefs and feelings, the stuff that's programmed over and over, our subconscious beliefs were formed by the time we're 7 years old. And I use the analogy about the fish in water in the last video, and I'll say it here because it's so relevant. 2 fish are swimming in the water. The one little fishy swims by and he says to this fish, "Water's beautiful today, isn't it?" And then this fish goes, "Water? Why did he do that?" Because water is all he knows. So we don't actually know what our subconscious beliefs and programming are. We don't know what our limiting thoughts are because they are us. It's what makes us who we are. And if you go back to that, let's look at money. Let's say your family was a beautiful example, not beautiful, unfortunate, but a perfect example for money is welfare system. Most people that are on welfare today are 3rd, 4th generation welfare. Why? Because that's all they've seen. That's all they know. That's all they think. That's all they do. And that's the results that they get. So when you are growing up in your 0 to 7 and then teenage years and then those early adult years, when you're around your friends and family, community, church, all you see and hear is groupthink. So let's say you come from money. Well, money's easy. Money's everywhere. Money's abundant. You have a right to be rich because that's how you grew up. If you come from middle class, that's what you know. Probably you work really hard, get a good job, progress, you make ends meet, provide for your kids, put them through university, but it could be a struggle, right? And then poverty, they get stuck in the loop of poverty because that's all they know, right? So if we're growing up around our parents and they say money is hard, don't ask me for that. Money doesn't grow on trees. You see your parents struggle about money. We'll focus on middle class because that's the majority of people. There's the outliers that are rich and they have their beliefs and journey to deal with in regards to money, and then poverty. That's a whole nother video right here, why they get stuck in that. But we'll focus on middle class. So your thoughts about who you are, the world you live in, the jobs that are acceptable for you, the amount of money you're going to make, whether or not you could be a millionaire, you didn't really decide on that. Your family and upbringing did. Again, if you grew up in wealth, you're going to be wealthy. If you grew up middle class, you're going to be middle class because that's all you know. And that being said, you're given those beliefs, you're given the skills, and then that's what you recreate in your life, middle class. It's very simple. There's a reality creation formula that we're going to cover in another video, but it simply goes, your programming creates your programming and your external environment. So your friends, family, community, media, movies, church, all of that, that programs you on how you feel and think about money. How you feel and think about money, or how you think and believe about money, pardon me, is how you're going to feel about money. And then everything happens from a feeling. If you feel that money is plenty and abundant to you, like the rich person, you're going to act like that. You're going to feel like that and act like that and get the results. If you are middle class and you feel that riches are not for you, you're going to feel that way and then go get the good, predictable job. That's the action, and get the result. And then you're just going to go through the reality creation cycle based not really on your information, based on the subconscious programming. Let's call it an outdated operating system that was given to you by friends, family, media, community, church, school system, prime example. So where you are in life, chances are you're operating on your standard operating system. You know, when we buy an iPhone and there's apps on there, they're the standard apps that come with your iPhone. That's a perfect example of our thoughts and beliefs and our success. Just think of you, unless you've really studied wealth and becoming wealthy, which is the focus of the channel here. So we'll focus on wealth generation. Unless you started your own study about the opportunities, about your potential, and started to reprogram, you're operating on standard system that came with your iPhone, came with your head. You've been programmed by everybody before you. You're not even really running your own thoughts and beliefs. So here's the beauty. When you realize that you've been programmed, you can reprogram, and then you throw in the fact that money making is a skill. Sure, your upbringing obviously gave you the programming. If you have more money, you'll have more opportunities. If you have less money, you'll have less opportunities. But think of that as your starting point. From here, you're supposed to take your iPhone and put new apps on, start studying, start acting, and recreating your reality based on you, not past stuff you were programmed. And when I tell you that money making is a skill, just like learning to skate, learning to play a sport, learning to be a graphic designer, learning to quilt, to sew, to do whatever. Have you learned a skill? You have. You walk, you talk, you think, you paint, you design, You have all kinds of skills. And the weird thing is, the school system doesn't teach us about money mindset, about conscious thought, subconscious thought, our limiting beliefs and how to overcome them. They don't even teach us that we are the goldfish in water. We're just the goldfish in water, repeating the cycle of what we've seen from our family before us and what's around us. So, money is a skill. When I learned that, when I was very early in my entrepreneurial career, I was still thinking that those people, those thought leaders, the millionaires, they were special. And I thought they were born different than I was. And then the more I learned and the more I heard them share their story, a lot of them came from abuse, drug abuse, physical abuse, poverty, middle class. They just had the light bulb moment, like I hope you have, that said, oh, people aren't born special. We're born into our situations. And yes, we have different natural talents and gifts that we're meant to pursue. But the thing is, the bulk of what people do in life is learned. It's learned skill, learned thought, learned behavior. So when I started listening to Tony Robbins, who was born into poverty and abuse, any of the thought leaders, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They weren't born into money. They're not special. They figured out how to make money. I like to think I'm fairly eager and keen. Maybe I can do this if they figured it out. And then it clicked. I'm like, money is a skill. And I started treating money like a hobby because I was serious about it. Honestly, I think I'm here to teach money independence and money freedom. I do believe that is my mission on this planet. But from a young age, I was driven to make money and take control of my financial destiny. So I literally treated that like it was my hobby. Let's say I wanted to learn how to quilt or paint or do yoga. I treated it like my hobby. And I spent time listening to podcasts. I spent time listening to YouTube videos. I realized as I got those little gold nugget ideas, oh, wow, money's a learnable skill. I can do this. As long as I can think, as long as I don't quit, I can continue to learn. Money is a learnable skill. So here, takeaway number one, no matter who you are, no matter what your upbringing was, no matter your present reality, you can absolutely change your future. And we all have different things stacked against us. Absolutely. But it essentially comes down to how bad you want it. And if you're watching a channel called The Money Boss Show, I'm pretty sure that you're interested in making money. Otherwise, you'd be watching the new Netflix series and watching stuff like that. But you're obviously serious. So, I'm talking to you. You can do this. If you want to get out of debt, if you want to take control of your spending and start to learn how to make money, so that you have a brighter future, you can do it. You can do it. I guarantee it. There is a science to getting rich. There's a science to making money, and it's a skill. So, money is a skill. And your thoughts, feelings, and current results are largely based on past programming, which is amazing. Amazing, because we're always lagging in life. What's happening to us today is a result of our past. If we were horrible to our spouse in the past, our relationship right now is not going to be amazing. If we want a better relationship with our spouse, and we start being nice today and working to mend fences, that kind of stuff, we'll have a better relationship tomorrow. Same thing with fitness and eating. We start eating healthier, exercising. It doesn't happen immediately because today we're living our eating habits and exercising habits of yesterday and years gone by. Change starts today to create a new future. That is so important. We always get stuck in the reality creation framework and we look out and see what we're living, which is based on what we know in the past and have done in the past. But if we want a new future, we need to focus on something different in reality. And that starts with videos like this. Grab a magazine with the rich and famous. Start realizing that other people live different ways. Other people are living the dream life that you want, and they're no more special than you. So if you want to create a different tomorrow, it starts today. And it's going to take a while. If you're in super debt and if you're not making a lot of money, your tomorrow doesn't change. Your tomorrow is going to be much the same as today. It's a lagging life situation. But I promise you, if you start reconditioning your thoughts, start putting new information in, garbage out. If you watch the news with poverty and destruction, you put garbage in. That's all your brain sees, and it recreates that. It gives you the feeling of that's what's possible. If you start to focus your eyeballs and your learning and your thoughts on a different reality, even if you don't see it in your reality, you'll see different results in the future. Same thing with making money. Let's say you get a new skill so that you can get more money. You're not going to get more money from your boss tomorrow, but sure, they'll notice in 3 months, 6 months, or a year when you're up for review. And if you have more skills, better attitude, harder work ethic, chances are you'll get more money. Same thing if you're self-employed. The more you know, the better you use that knowledge, then it changes your future. Same as I did. I looked up and I'm like, oh, I'm in this job. And if I make this forever and ever, I'm never getting anywhere. And I had the desire to make good money so that I could own my financial destiny and be free. So I started learning and it didn't change. And then sometimes a bad thing happens and you're like, I'm never going to get ahead. But sure enough, if you focus on a reality that you don't physically see, and sometimes that's where those vision boards come in, reading magazines, focusing your eyeballs on a different reality, your mind on a different reality, you will create it. So where you sit right now is a result of your past thoughts, beliefs, feelings, actions about money and your potential. Today is a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. That's number one. Number two, money. So if money is a skill, how is money made? Well, we go to the public school system that teaches the bulk of the population to be average. That's why it's designed. It teaches us to be a good employee and a good, responsible member of society. School is not designed to make us rich. When I realized that, I'm like, oh, wow. I graduated and then I graduated from university and I'm working a job and this ain't going to make me rich. It's on me to figure out how to make money and create the life of my dreams. So we are taught to be an employee. This is number two, how we make money. We go to school. We're taught to exchange our time for money. And the ultimate goal of the rat race, as we call it, being an employee, is to have more skills, work harder to make more money. But at the end of the day, no matter what job you're in, you're capped. If you're an administrative assistant, you're going to make X. If you're a manager, you're going to make X. If you're a salesperson, you're going to make X with the potential. The more you sell, the more you can make. That's why sales is one of the highest paying jobs because it's also the hardest. A lot of mindset junk. And then you get to the biggest, most prestigious, highest paying positions, the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Those guys and gals, they are the creme de la crop, right? They have the best skills. They're great at what they do. They know how to grow companies and manage big companies. Fortune 500, there's not a lot. It's in the name. So those opportunities are few and far between. And this is where I wouldn't have such a beef with the school system if they actually told people, we're here to make you a great employee And as an employee, you're going to be just paying your bills. And nowadays, most people aren't making it by, even if they have good jobs. If they handed you your diploma and told you that and said, from here, it's on you. If you want to do better than a job, if you want to make more money and control your life, it's up to you. Your education's just getting started. So we're taught to exchange time for money, very limited. Yes, you can work longer hours. And in jobs, you do, because that's how you get your raise. But you tap out. Even if you wanted to work 24 hours for a few days before you crash, you max out. You get to the highest wage possible. You max out. If you want to build wealth, there is no other way to do it than through starting your own business. And that is the second way to do it, where you sell a product or service. And then that's where you can start to control the volume that goes out. Of course, if you are tied to that service and doing, let's say you start your own graphic design business, probably one step better than being in a job. There's some challenges, of course, of being self-employed. You got to find the work, pay the bills. But let's say you are destined to do this and die by your own sword, as they say. You become a self-employed graphic designer and you're the graphic designer. For a while, you're still maxed out because you only have so much time. When you hire the next employee, then you can start to grow that way. Wealth is never, ever, ever created in a job. It is created through leveraging the sale of services and products. And from there, your success in business, well, depends, of course, on sales, marketing, business structures, capital. There's a lot of things that go into it. But it also comes down to how bad somebody wants your product or service. And essentially, how much they are willing to pay. So being an employee is number one way to make money. Being a business owner, and of course you can make money through investments like real estate and stocks and all of that stuff. So making money is a skill. Being an employee is the lowest form of making money. From there, investing, starting your business, selling a product or service. And if you think of it, as I mentioned, those individuals that start businesses are no more special than you. They're just like you. Many of them have started from worse situations, but they just said, I want to do this. And they are willing to go all in and literally forsake constant entertainment and pleasure because building wealth becomes one of their highest values. At the end of the day, that's also what they don't tell you about money. It becomes a value, not that you're greedy, but you choose to spend your time increasing your knowledge about money to do better versus sitting on the couch watching Netflix. It's a choice. That is number two. Number one, where you stand is a byproduct of your past conditioning, and your future can be changed by changing your present. Number two, money making is a skill. And if you're in a job, you're going to stay just over broke. J-O-B, just over broke. Number three is really more about the mindset. And I've covered a lot of it so far already in this video. If you want to be average and enjoy your evenings and spend every night watching TV, every weekend going to the games, every weekend shopping, putting yourself in debt, that is a choice. At the end of the day, the people that get wealthy decide that it is a value to them. It is a decision that they are not going to relive poverty. They're going to make the choices now, sacrifice their leisure time now for a better life tomorrow, right? Because everything you learn and the actions you take today are going to build a better tomorrow. I know it's repetitive, but these are the thoughts that just slowly, oh, oh, a lot of us have the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday mindset, fun on the weekends. The thing is, when I had a job, I treated the Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, as my way to pay the bills. In my evening time, I decided to dedicate that to bettering myself. And then I would launch a little side hustle in this and learn, because contrary to what is also portrayed in the media, we tend to think that if we go into business, it's going to be a big unicorn venture capital company. It doesn't happen like that. There is a lot of learning, bumping up, making mistakes, wins, navigating, picking yourself up. That has to happen. And the best way to do that is starting in your evenings and weekends by launching your social media platforms, growing a brand, starting to offer a product. And then when you really have an audience, and then you're starting to realize, oh, I can teach them this. I'm a graphic designer. Why don't I start a side hustle called whatever? And then you're teaching people online graphic design, whatever that is. You look at everything out there on social media nowadays, there are so many ways to make money. And it's really up to us to make the choice to focus on learning about money and creating wealth as a primary value. The majority of the people place their value on fun and entertainment. They want to do every movie, every fun thing, going to every sports game, every party, spending a lot of money, usually that they don't have, and frittering their life away in bread and circuses. What does that mean? Eating out, being entertained. That is how the world is designed. It's designed to part you with your money, your time, your energy, your focus, so that you're focused on everything else except for building your own life. How many of us get caught up in characters of Netflix series and we're living through them? The problem is, if we shut that off and start to focus on building our life and living our life and making ourselves the hero in our journey versus that character in the TV show, if we shut that off and become the hero of our journey and stop living through Hollywood's movies and TV, we're going to take control of our own life. And then slowly but surely, 3 months down the road, we're starting to get out of debt. We're not spending as much because we realize, wow, I work hard for this money. Why do I blow it? If I save this and stop shopping every weekend, I could start investing in paid ads on my side hustle platform. By changing our thoughts and beliefs and knowledge here today, with number one, realizing that rich people aren't special and money is a skill. And if you dedicate yourself to the skill of making money, you too can be wealthy. And here's the thing, I titled the last video, The Science of Getting Rich. And while many people feel mixed feelings about money, like rich, it's exciting, but it's also overwhelming because we've never thought of ourselves as being rich. So replace it this way. Why don't you study to take control of your financial destiny? Even if you don't want to be a millionaire or billionaire, wouldn't it be nice to be in control of your money and stop spending like you're a millionaire when you go to the mall and getting in debt and then feeling the shame cycle? That all starts with you creating a budget, going to the bookstore, going to Amazon and finding a book about money, finance, budgeting. There is, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of books in the library that will tell you how to become a millionaire. But 97% of the population won't read a book. And guess what? 97% of the population can't find $400 in the event of an emergency, cash. And the bulk of the wealth in this world is earned, managed, invested by 3%. Why? Because they know money is a skill and they've dedicated their spare time, their life, their resources to learning the skill of money and building wealth. They took control. They said, I don't care what I came from. I don't care about my surroundings. I'm going to decide to do better for myself, my kids, and my future generations. Ultimately, every millionaire, old money, started with one man or woman that said, I'm going to focus on building wealth. They had a great idea, launched a product, a service, and made a lot of money. And guess what? They changed the wealth, they changed the life of their kids, their spouse, their friends, their family, their community, and they make a difference in the world because they create jobs and create products and services that change people's lives. So, deep breath. Money is a skill. If you have full cognitive ability, which I assume you do if you're listening to this, if you can think and you can act and you can learn the skill of money. And it starts with making a little bit, spending a little less, taking control. It doesn't start with becoming a millionaire. And maybe that's not your goal, what I was trying to say before. Maybe it's just to be able to be self-employed and raise your babies instead of sending them to daycare, working hard to pay daycare. If you're a woman and you just want to stay at home and replace your wage and be able to raise your babies at the same time, amazing. If you are a man and you want to do the same thing, amazing. If you just want to make extra money, amazing. Get yourself out of debt. The most empowering message, other than the fact that money is a skill and you can learn it, is there is nobody out there that's going to stop you. We're always looking around for knowledge, for permission, for the answers, like the school system. But this is on you. If you want to be wealthy, it's you against you. You against your fears, you against your desire to sit on the couch and watch Netflix versus studying or working part-time to make more money, to get yourself out of debt on the way to becoming financially sustainable. It's you against you. That's all it is. And that's a bucket of cold water, but it is the most liberating thing you can ever learn. When it's you against you, you realize no one can stop you other than you. And that right there, that is personal power. When you realize it's you against you, and if you want a different life, it's you. If you want to make more money, it's you. If you want to get out of debt, it's you. There is nothing that can stop you. And in this day and age, there is free information on absolutely everything. It literally comes back down to how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Because if you want it so bad, that's what you think about and that's your burning desire, you'll make it happen. If you're like, I'm okay racking up another credit card, you're not motivated enough to move, to take action, to take control of your life. It's you against you. No one can stop you. Sacred money truth number 2. Making money is a skill, and you have everything it takes to make good money, build wealth, and build the life of your dreams. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe, and make sure to join our community, the Money Boss Collective. We send out once a week email when new videos come out, and we are on an amazing journey to start a money revolution here. Now is the time. You have the power. Let's do this. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.